Welcome back. Let's jump right into it. I literally just ended the last episode. Let's jump right in. No time wasting. I want to move right on to the good stuff.
Are you okay?
Looks like comfy chairs.
I know you've been through a lot, but you have to help me access the Zenith network. I need to see their files. Anything referring to the word Nemesis. Okay. Over there.
The floating orb.
The systems are down all over the base. I should be able to take advantage of... Yes, Nemesis. Here. There's something in deep space. It's following the Zeniths to Earth.
Ooh, it is aliens. Could set up a third game.
Look. Escape vectors. Alva tried to warn me about this. The Zeniths aren't planning to stay here. It's a machine of some kind. Or a swarm of them. The energy readings are...
Okay, so not aliens.
Aloy, I don't think a natural disaster destroyed the Zenith colony on Sirius. This thing did. Earth isn't a new home for them. It's a way station. They're on the run.
Okay. Yes, but what? Did they make it? I presume they did. They repeated the same mistake that Ted Faro did, I imagine. They made something they couldn't control and it got out of hand. He made something that ate biomass.
I see you've been busy.
And you've been lying. Nemesis. What is it?
It is us. The minds of Far Zenith. Or failed copies of them, anyway. Back on Sirius, some of my peers weren't satisfied with physical immortality. They wanted digital transcendence. A way to upload their minds into any form, organic or mechanical.
Oh, great.
Nemesis was a failed experiment to that effect. Abandoned, but never erased. An immense database of our memories, emotions, and prejudices left to fester.
And it destroyed your colony?
We didn't realize it had gained sentience until it broke containment. It had everything it needed from our memories. Security protocols, system specs, override codes. It hacked everything before we knew what hit us. Then it took over our printing facilities, allowing it to gain any machine form it needed to wipe us out.
Oh my god, it can
Why?
jump machines.
Imagine being
Can beat
trapped
any
alone
machine.
for decades with only the twisted echoes of megalomaniacs for company. It hates us for abandoning it to that prison. And now that it's free, it will do anything to destroy us, including denying us a safe harbor on Earth.
The extinction signal that woke Hades. You didn't send it. Nemesis did.
Finally, you understand. And when that failed, it launched from Sirius to finish the job itself. Which is why we must flee to a random planet circling a random star, somewhere it can never find us.
With Gaia. So you can build yourself a new world.
So what happens when it gets here?
That's the plan. Even now. Earth is finished, Aloy. Nemesis will scour it of life to deny its creators a viable home. But Elizabeth's dream won't die. You'll come with me to the stars. And with Gaia, we'll create a new world. Together. Where that monstrosity could never find us.
What? No.
I loved Elizabeth. More than you could ever know. And I let her stay behind to die with the rest of humanity. A mistake I have regretted for 1,000 years. Now she stands before me again. Not some inferior copy,
Oh my god.
but her best possible self. So I'm not asking. You're coming with me.
Oh my god.
It may seem harsh now, but you'll forgive me in a few centuries.
You can't force me, Tilda.
An immortal genius
Your
yandere.
shield is gone.
I have something better. Spectre Prime, to me.
Oh god, Spectre Prime?
Take cover! Get to the door!
Submit, Aloy. You can't win.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, but Aloy, look at it!
And stones against the lightning.
All machine types scanned. Hold, let me just take this in. Alright, it's level 45, which is stupid because I've faced freaking slaughter spines with higher levels than that. The ultimate Far Zenith exoframe, it can morph into multiple forms, while gold armor like plating can become devastating weapons, and gravitationally reattach when torn off. God damn it, I cannot say any of that. Is there any loot that's specific to it? There's a weapon, the cannon, so I can take those off, good. But I don't have anything to take it off. Well, I don't... Oh, no, I do have some of these. For those of you who actually know what a yandere is, you'll probably appreciate that. Although I imagine a lot of you might not, which is disappointing. Then again, Yandere Simulator was pretty big a couple years ago, so more people may know about it than I thought. Who knows? Ah, crap, I missed. I don't know what that bit is, but it looks important. Oh, I think it's a...
You thought this would be
it is.
easy?
It is that bit. It's the freaking bit that draws everything back in.
Ha! Those gold plates are vulnerable.
Where's the detached weapons I got? Okay. So it reminds me very much of the Typhon. Like the way it moves, the whole twisting form of it. Like Typhon, of course, organic. This thing's robotic. But you understand what I mean if you've seen a Typhon or played Prey, which is still one of my most favourite games. Come on, I just want to... Okay, let me change my skills up. Back to this, because I don't need the fighter skill I still had. I maybe should have got some food before coming here. And I'm really low on my herbs, on my medical pouch stuff. I know she's not going to sit there and just let me destroy this thing. Okay. Will please just sit there and let me destroy it? Okay, no, she moved slightly downwards. Okay. I haven't tried any of these yet. Let's try one of these.
Just what I need.
Okay!
I'll shut you down.
Wow!
Have you.
Okay, definitely Yandere. That right there, prime freaking Yandere words. Script, essentially. I love it. Okay, got a bit
I knew
distracted
you
there.
didn't truly want to hurt me.
What? What do you think I'm doing right now? I mean, get out of that machine and see if you still feel the same way.
Using those gold plates to power its attacks.
I know this, Aloy. I'm trying to deal with the magnetic thing that would allow it to get all the parts back on if we detach them. In fact, let me just... Did you... Ooh, corrosion. I can't believe I
Don't
forgot.
have enough stamina yet.
Yeah, she's sapping my stamina somehow, but I'm just not building
Won't
stamina.
work, Tilda. Powering up.
Oh, Aloy's still trying to talk to her. That's
This
cute. She's
bastard was
insane.
designed to survive
Aloy.
against more than that.
I sure hope so. Gotta be honest though, Aloy, I'm not liking your chances of defeating the Nemesis, considering these guys are 1,000 years ahead and they had to run from it to a different planet.
Clip that thing's armor.
Okay, there we go. Just need to keep hitting it.
That did something.
Let her have it!
What the hell is that? That seems like cheating. Hold it. Just gonna fire that thing at me, why don't you?
Come on, come on.
Ask yourself why you're holding back.
I'm not. Do you see me? I'm in your face trying to kill you.
You're not gonna beat me.
You're making good progress too. There you go. You're gonna enjoy this. Let me just show you how effective this thing is.
Soon
Oh!
we will be all that is left of the human race.
Ooh, gold. I can salvage it for gold. Yeah, we're just gonna...
Why couldn't you just let me choose?
Ooh, instant burning chance. Nice. That was good, I like that fight. I really like that fight, actually. Just goes to show what I was talking about earlier when I was fighting Aaron. The game lends itself far, far better to machine fights. Now we still have to deal with Nemesis. Pretty sure silence can help with that.
She tried to take you. And she told you about Nemesis.
So you've known all along.
Did you?
From Hades, yes. Along with data on how to circumvent the Zenith shields. Everything I did to create the rebel army was based on that knowledge. To reach this place, this moment.
But what are you going to do after
couldn't just
this
tell me?
moment?
Come now, Aloy. You're the last person to act sensibly in the face of impossible odds. When I learned of Nemesis from Hades, I saw the pieces on the board and how to play them. And in that same moment, I knew it was a game you would never play. That you would interfere and attempt to save the Tenakth. I was correct, to a point. You ruined my plans, but brought your own to fruition. The end result is the same. We're here.
And how do we deal with that?
And now it's time for me to leave this doomed planet behind.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do that,
seal the
actually.
Odyssey in the Apollo database, and begin a new chapter in my pursuit of knowledge, one with infinite possibilities. You can join me if you so desire. You've more than earned your place.
Honestly,
Unlike Tilda, I'm extending a polite invitation.
You're going to just take off? And abandon everything?
yes, go with him. Take everyone.
Stay. Help me fight that thing.
It's a... You can't fight the virus.
Tilda didn't adequately define the threat. Nemesis can't be stopped. It destroyed a highly advanced Zenith colony in a matter of hours. What hope does this primitive tribal Earth have? If you brought Gaia, you wouldn't be abandoning life, you'd be saving a seed for a new world. Just as Elizabeth did. It's the choice she made. The sacrifice of all that is for the hope of what might be. If she were here in your place, she would board that shuttle, Aloy.
But Aloy just said that Tenakth, you'd need to get all the Tenakth here first.
Still on her feet. Thank the turn.
Goodbye, Silence.
I think he is hurt. He did want her to come. I think he is impressed with her.
She looks okay.
She looks victorious.
As always.
Aloy. You did it.
I don't like the tension because she still has to tell them about Nemesis. Come on, Silence, stay. Stay and help. Come on.
Hey, where's he going?
As far away as anyone can go.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yes! Oh, I'm so happy.
You're staying.
For a time. You people are going to need all of the help you can get.
Does anyone else need a drink?
Not if it's that ale of yours. I'd be fine with a nap.
Excellent idea.
I hope it's really over this time.
Oh my god. Oh my god, does he not see the big red orb? Is he not asking questions? Oh my god. That is the funniest line in the game. I may need to cut that out or lower the volume or something, but Jesus.
Very different than the one you fought.
So we can just assume they did the fastest thing on their own.
Creating a new world. It's about preserving the one we have. My friends have a new mission. To spread the word and ask for help. They've taken it in stride. I think it's because they've always known what I've only just started to understand.
What?
That the people of this world have the strength to fight any
Regala.
The ingenuity to solve any problem.
Nice.
The courage to overcome any obstacle. And the resilience to rise after any setback. As for me, I can't say I'm not afraid.
It'd be stupid not to be afraid.
What lies ahead will be harder than anything we've faced before.
Oh, absolutely.
But I know I can put the fear aside.
Can you?
Because for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm not alone.
So I think, yeah, this is the ending. So I want to, before I review it, I want to talk about the threat they're going to face in the next game. Basically, it can do what Hephaestus can do with the minds of the Zeniths. So it can take any cauldron it wants, build any machine it wants, alter any machine it wants, it can inhabit any machine it wants. Along with that, it has all the minds of the 4 Zeniths in one. It has made a personality out of it, it's made its own consciousness out of that. It's got to be more insane than Hades, but more intelligent than the 4 Zeniths. And with more creativity for machines than Hephaestus. Thinking about it, I don't know if overriding will be in the next game, because I don't know if you can keep any machine against it. Because it knows everything, it knows how to take the machines, how to override them. I don't know if you'll be able to, you'll have to unlock a higher tier of overriding in order to keep your machines away from that thing. But it seems like it's setting up to be a trilogy in all. I don't know if they're going to go past the trilogy, because as much as I was talking earlier about aliens and stuff, the game does very much, as I've said, lend itself to machine battles. Fighting actual physical things, well, not physical, you know what I mean, biological things, is not as good as shown by the Eric fight. Now, for games such as Aliens and stuff, Halo and that does all that stuff better. Even like Chimera games are awesome for that, but I don't think, just based on how this game is set up, that it would do well in that sort of environment. Like near the end, when they were talking about different planets, I was slightly hoping Halo will get on the ship and they'd get another game where we go to a different planet and we take it over, not take it over, but we kind of kill off some dangerous creatures and predators as you expand your own. It's not going to be like a base builder, but more like this game. But you do specific missions and parts of the base expand, so you send up a colony essentially. I thought that would be really cool. But I understand why they're not going for that. If they don't go, yeah, no, they definitely won't go for that because Halo didn't leave with him. Neither did Silence. I'm glad Silence is still here. It makes me happy that he's still around. He is my favourite character, as I've said before. I'm a bit sad that he wasn't in a lot of this game. He was in the latter portion of it. However, I will say, a lot of the problems with my problems with it, which specifically the problems I have with the story feels short. The reason it feels short is, well, not that it feels short, it feels too long. The reason it feels too long is because I didn't explore and do story in a healthy way. I grinded through a lot of story and then was left with, I am even tempted to say, too much side stuff. Maybe if I was doing it on my own it wouldn't be as bad, but I don't think there's enough story missions in all. Like, there's a great load of story missions and a lot of side stuff, but I don't think there's enough story missions, essentially. Which, I think is fine. And, well, it's not fine, like I said, I would prefer if there were more story missions. I don't understand why it happened, though. This is a massive game, and it's built around, the side missions are all fresh, they all feel amazing. I admit I'm not the best with that stuff. As you've probably seen, I rushed through quite a lot of the side stuff. I skipped out on a lot of the stories. The main stuff I try to, take everything in, but I've said before, I'm much more of an action-oriented person. It's why I love Dark Souls so much, because you don't need to take in the story as much, you just play, you just enjoy it. So with that aspect, I will say it lost me a bit, because I felt like there's not enough story to complement the side stuff. There's just way too much side stuff to do, and not enough story to balance it out properly. But I will admit that is a personal problem. I didn't balance it out personally myself, so it's something I need to work on. The characters, of course, I am not the best person to judge them. Naturally, I am sad about Val's death, of course. Erend, I didn't spend enough time with a lot of them. I do think you can get more of the story, you can flesh it out more if you spend more time with them. You do get like a mission for each of them. I think Yeah, you do get a mission. I think Erend is possibly the only one you don't. No, wait, you do get an mission with Erend. It's the one where you fight off the rebels, the Sons of Prometheus. So you get a mission with all of them, I think maybe except for Vol. So it of course develops characters a bit more, you develop your relationship with said characters. That is not accurate. There he is, Dreadwing. He's sitting underneath that bridge. So I do think it's really good. They didn't just leave off characters, they did include missions with them, they expanded on them. I do think it's really good. They weren't afraid to introduce new characters and make them like pseudo allies with Tilda. I do think that was really good. And I loved the way they did her at the end. Like I said, during the fight, making her a yandere. It's very unique. It's not something I've seen in a AAA game like this. It's not something I can remember from a AAA game, at the very least. There may have been other characters like that, but not... I don't think any of them as, you know, impactful or important as Tilda. So I do think that was a really good mix. And it works for her character as well. She regretted leaving Elizabeth, so she was not going to leave Aloy under any conditions. In fact, she was almost delusional in the end. She believed that Aloy wasn't really trying to hurt her. She believed that Aloy would come around, that she would see the error of her ways and would go with Tilda to a different planet to be together so that they can love one another. I think that's where she showed her age. She'd gone insane. She just hid it better than the other Farzeniths. Which I will say, I am a bit disappointed with that aspect. We only got to see 3, really. Whereas in the final battle we saw, like, I don't know, 10 of them, maybe 15. There were a load of them and we only ever saw or heard about 3. Aloy mentioned a couple of them from the, of course, data points, but those are things you can miss. So the machines, let's talk about the machines. I love the machines, okay. I will say the grinding, I hated it. I do think the Apex machines were intriguing, but it takes away a lot of it. Because for certain ones, most of the machines, if not all the machines, are Knight or Apex machines. And it just completely rips out the override mechanic. Say a big machine is surrounded by a bunch of little machines. If it's a Knight, quite possibly they're all going to be Apex. At which point you can't override them to help you with the battle. You can call in a mount, which is what you're supposed to do. It's something I didn't do enough, I should have done more. But overall, I do think maybe they should have added a hidden cauldron, which allowed you to override certain Apex machines. Sort of like just the small ones that, sort of like Claw Striders and just Watchers and stuff like that. Small machines, not big ones like the Slaughter Spine or the freaking Thunderjaw, Stormbird, or the Dreadwing, nothing like that. Just small machines you can override just so that if you're in a big battle, you can override small machines to help you out. Because with the legendary stuff and the very rare gear, you do need to hunt a lot of Apex machines, and it gets very grinding, essentially. It basically becomes like Monster Hunter, which is not what I want, because if I want to play Monster Hunter, I'm gonna play Monster Hunter. I love this game because you can override machines, you can ride machines, and it's not a strategy game, but it's about picking apart machines. You can still do that, but the Apex machines are just normal machines with inflated health bars, and they have a few different mechanics to them. It just makes the fights a dread to go through. I stated before in episode 75 or 76 that the bear was one of the hardest things to get, because you had to get the sack webbing, and that's underneath it, which is the biggest part of the bear. It's actually harder to not hit the damn thing than it is to hit it. You can hit it basically wherever you want, and against an Apex one, it's awful trying to fight it. Granted, luckily you don't have to fight the Apex fight law in order to get the goddamn thing. You can just fight the normal fight law, but even that still takes ages when you're trying to avoid hitting the underside of it completely. So I do think the grind got very repetitive, and it didn't help that there were so many weapons. Like the Shredder, it may just be me personally, I didn't see use for it. I tried it out a bit when we did that mission with the Boom people, and it was intriguing, but maybe I need to try it out more. Maybe I would have liked it more if I tried it more. The Shredder is another, I think those two specifically are ones I avoided. The Tripcaster and Ropecaster I found extremely useful in last game, but I didn't use them much in this game, because with the Spike Thrower it just felt easier to brute force my way through everything. And that's, I think, I guess something the game should have promoted a bit more. Granted, it's a sequel, you shouldn't have to be relearning everything, I do understand that. But in the first game, you understood the importance of everything because you got given it slowly, over time, whereas this game it felt like you got a lot of it real quick. So in the previous game, you got the Ropecaster, it was great, you got the Tripcaster, and you fought the Sabretooth. That was great because it was such an amazing thing to use. It's likely because I didn't use them as much, but they felt very underpowered in this game. And it was likely due to all the different status effects as well. There was a lot of kind of focus on status effects, which makes sense. There was the like 3 new ones. There was Glow Blast, Purge Water, and then there was also the Anger one, then there was also the Glue one. All 4 of these I didn't use much. I would have liked to use more of them. The Glow Blast I think was a really good idea, I did like it. Granted, fighting a machine that did it, specifically Spinosaurus, Slaughter Spine, it was awful because it would seem like nothing was happening and then suddenly you get hit out of nowhere and it'd deal like a quarter or half your health. So I do wish that was more better indicated. That aside, the actual story, I did like the Far Zeniths, I did really like them. I will say, I stated during the fight, the Eric fight I didn't like. I feel like spear attacks, spear combat, and considering there's a spear there's a tree focused on spear fighting, you know, the fighter tree. I feel like it should have been more of a brawl, especially considering what he is. He's a warmongerer who enjoys battle. I feel like he would definitely enjoy getting in close and dealing damage himself rather than firing at you from long range. It just feels like the kind of person he is. I feel like he should have got in closer more and it would have lent you to more of the physical side of things, because he was basically the penultimate fighter battle, whereas Tilda and the Sentry Prime, I believe it's called, I forgot what it's called, are the machine side of things where you use your bow and use all your equipment, whereas Eric was supposed to be the fighter side. So I feel like him floating away and using all the AoE attacks to keep you at a distance, plus his whole phasing where he moved really fast after you only hit him once or twice, I feel really took away from that fight. Could have been left out, maybe made him more of a brawler rather than a... I don't even know what he was. He was a freaking ranged fighter. He was an archer almost, which I do think takes away from his character, considering the fact he got real close with Vol and hit him. He didn't try to fire anything. Well, I think he did, but Vol dealt with it. He got in there and he dealt with Vol, whereas unlike with Vol, he stayed at a distance and fired at us. So with all that in mind, I do like the setup for the next game as well. I don't know how they're going to beat this thing, considering it took down a Far Zenith's base colony. I have hope though. Overall, the game, 9 out of 10. Easily. There are just a few moments I let down. Like I said, I do wish there was more story, a bit more story, you know. And we do wish it was around the places more. But I do admit that was my personal problem with it. Along with that, I felt like... I don't know how to feel about Beta. I do like her growth, but it feels like she was still the same by the end of it. She was a bit more confident, but it felt like she was more trying to imitate Aloy than trying to play into herself, essentially. She was trying to be more like Aloy, which is not a bad thing, but never felt like she grew as much as she could have. She could have had more development. Yeah, so overall a 9 out of 10. Honestly, if we would have been able to override a Horus Titan, 10 out of 10, easily. Easily 10 out of 10. But overall, the Horus Titans, the EMPs, I felt weren't as useful as they could have been because of how far spread out the machines were. I tried to use one and it was so long trying to get there, then back to the machine site to use it. So I felt like they could have included a bit more Horus Titans to make that aspect more useful. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I loved it even. Loved some of the moments, I got very hype. Loved fighting the Spectres. There we go, Spectres. Why did I say Sentry earlier? I know the name. I loved fighting the Spectres. I feel like they were drummed down a bit in the final battle to make them weaker, which is fine considering how many of them we faced. I don't mind them drumming them down a bit. Just felt early in the game they were more dangerous, but I guess that's the aspect of leveling up, getting stronger as well. I loved finding out about what happened to Ted Faro. Do wish we got to see what he became, but I understand why we didn't. It just it works off the imagination. He's so horrifying, and what you don't see is always more horrifying than what you can see. So I understand why they didn't show him. Overall, like I said, 9 out of 10. Loved it, and really hope there's a third game. They set themselves up to be a third game, and considering this game was in the running for Game of the Year, it feels like it's getting really high praise, which it deserves. And I reckon they're going to greenlight a third game if they're not already working on it, honestly. Then again, they did do DLC for the first game, and I feel like they could do it for this game, but whether they will or not, I'm not sure. Either way, look forward to the third one if there is. And I guess we'll be focusing more on God of War and Dark Souls 2 until I finish Dark Souls 2, and then it's on to Bloodborne, and I'll probably take my time with both of them. With that said, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed my commentary. I would love feedback if you have any. With that said, like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff, and goodbye.